Okay, so like, subscribe, do your thing. Don't just sit there like a lazy piece of shit. Do something. So we're going to go back to exploring some more prepper myths. Man, some of these emails, people, I mean, keep them coming. Some of them are entertaining, but I got to ask y'all, if you don't have an inner monologue or something, some of the questions you're asking is very concerning. I mean, Hollywood has done more damage to preparedness than actual disasters, first of all. Some of you, I don't think, have been outside your house for about 5 years or 10 years. And if you have, it's probably just been to run in the McDonald's drive-thru and go back home. But some of the emails I'm getting, some of y'all need help, honestly. Stop eating crayons and go outside for a change. You can learn survival. You cannot learn survival skills solely from watching YouTube. You have to go outside and practice based on some of the photos I've received. You need to get into shape also. You guys are throwing on your tack gear and standing there with your AR, and you don't understand that, a short-barreled AR with a collapsible stock, and the fact that your rig, your body armor rig, your vest only covers down slightly below your nipple line, and you've got this table blister sticking out about 1.5 feet out from underneath it. I mean, some of you guys look pregnant. I'm not going to lie to you. You guys are going to have a heart attack from exhaustion before you ever make it to the tree line. You need to start listening to what we're talking about as far as getting into shape and eating better. First of all, and we're going to go into this myth thing, but first of all, if you're surviving solely on MREs, stop now. That shit will stop you up. It's got too many calories for a static, sedate lifestyle where you're not moving around and being extremely active. Stop eating your MREs. Save them. We're probably going to need them the way things are going down the road. But you need to eat like a little bit of rabbit food, salad or something like that, or skip one of your 6 McDonald's meals every day or something. But some of you guys, I swear to God, you got to get in better shape. You look I know you guys think you look badass in these pictures you're sending, where like 3 or 4 of you standing there with your body armor on and your SBR ARs and your camo face paint and stuff. But guys, no, you don't look good. You don't look tough. You look like you're going to be a problem for an ambulance is what you look like. So I'm going to stop beating you up right there, but sometimes you just need to hear it. So we're going to be talking about prepper myths, because some of the questions I've gotten have also become a little bit weird about how things work. I keep hearing things like when I put out a podcast, or I even see other podcasters doing this. They'll put out a podcast and somebody wants to become argumentative in emails and stuff and say, well, I watched a podcast last week and they said this. You know what? If you want to listen to them and do what they say, just do it. I don't give a shit. I don't care that you don't like what I say. I know the other podcasters, some of them I know, don't give a shit if you want to argue with them. You're not going to change their mind, because most of the people, including myself, we know what the hell we're talking about. So if you want to split hairs and argue or something like that, go argue to that other 600-pound Leviathan sitting next to you in the body armor. You two argue back and forth. I don't want to hear it. I'm here to help, not hurt, but some of you people are hurting yourselves. I know you've watched 3 or 4 videos on YouTube and you think you're an expert now. You're not. And playing Call of Duty doesn't mean you understand combat. And, man, y'all need to get your head slapped on, right? Because some of you are really losing your shit. So we're going to continue this. I have to get into a business meeting right now. I will continue this podcast later. We'll pick it up where we're letting off right now. And again, skip McDonald's, eat a salad, do something different. Talk to you in a little bit. Okay, welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, things, whatever. I'm not doing the pronouns thing, so if you're not a ladies and gentlemen, you're a thing or an it. And I'm welcoming you back to the Sasquatch Prepper Podcast, the only podcast where common sense is still considered tactical equipment. I'm your host, me. Grab your coffee, your notebook, and if you're currently reorganizing your 7th total freeze-dried lasagna while ignoring expired batteries and your smoke detectors, this episode is definitely for you. Today we're talking about the biggest prepper myths ever created. Not little myths, not harmless myths. I'm talking about the kind of myths that convince people they're one YouTube video away from surviving the collapse of civilization while simultaneously getting winded carrying groceries from the car. We've all seen them. The guy wearing 40 pounds of tactical gear to go buy milk. The fellow who owns 14 rifles but doesn't own a fire extinguisher. The survival expert who can't change a flat tire without consulting Reddit. Or my personal favorite, the guy who there's always one who says, if things ever get really bad, I'll just head into the woods. Oh, will you? Outstanding. Please continue. Nothing entertains Mother Nature more than another suburban accountant showing up wearing brand new camouflage, carrying 3 knives, and asking a squirrel where the nearest Starbucks is. Hollywood has convinced people that survival is mostly slow motion walking. Reality is, it's mostly foot blisters. Preparedness isn't pretending you're the hero in an action movie. It's about making bad days maybe a little less bad. Unfortunately, preparedness has attracted every type of personality imaginable. Some are excellent, some are practical, some quietly prepare without telling anyone, and then there's the tactical peacocks. You know the type. The rifle has more accessories than a luxury SUV. Their plate carrier weighs as much as a washing machine. They own 17 pairs of tactical gloves. Every flashlight costs $400, yet somehow they've never actually slept outside, not even once. Tonight we're going to separate fact from fantasy, or today, or whenever you're listening to this. We're going to laugh a little. We'll poke fun at ourselves, because every prepper, including me, has believed at least one ridiculous thing along the way. Some of us a hell of a lot more than others. So pull up a chair and let's begin. We're going to go with myth 1. And this is pretty good because if you're listening to this and you have any kind of woodland awareness, we'll call it, you're going to know exactly what I'm going into. So myth number 1, I'll just bug out into the woods if the shit hits the fan. Ah, yes, the classic. Civilization collapses, the lights go out, everyone panics. Meanwhile, Bob from accounting throws on camouflage purchased just 3 days ago, grabs his 70-pound bug-out bag, kisses his wife goodbye, and confidently announces, I'm heading into the wilderness. Bob just abandoned his wife. Bob has never successfully started a campfire without lighter fluid, but confidence is important, I guess, so the woods are apparently waiting to receive Bob with open branches. Here's what's going to actually happen. After 3 hours, Bob discovers how pill while carrying 70 pounds feels surprisingly and suspiciously similar to dying. After 6 hours, his boots have removed most of the skin from both of his feet. After 8 hours, oh, by the way, those boots were unbroken in because he's never worn them outside. After 8 hours, he's wondering if raccoons are edible. By morning, he's Googling how to surrender to nature, except there isn't any cell service. It's funny how that works. Get it in your head. The wilderness is not your friend. It doesn't care that you watched all 12 seasons of survival television. Trees don't hand out participation trophies. Nature doesn't care about your feelings. Nature says, you forgot rain gear? Excellent. So let's discuss hypothermia. People romanticize wilderness survival because movies skip the boring parts, like being soaking wet, sleeping on rocks, mosquitoes, more mosquitoes, ticks, more mosquitoes, excessive heat, excessive cold, digging holes, finding water, boiling water, filtering water, finding more waters, more mosquitoes. Everything becomes about water, and then eventually more water. If you've never spent multiple days outdoors, the woods are not your backup plan. They're going to be your final exam and you're going to fail. The goal of preparedness isn't running away. It's avoiding having to run away. Your home already has walls. It has insulation. You have food. Your home has medicine, water, and tools. Your home has bathrooms, beds. The forest has trees. Congratulations. You've just given up everything for a tree. We talk about some of the survival people and prior military people and how we're more comfortable in the woods than in an urban combat situation, and it's the truth. We are. It's just, once you learn it, you've learned it, but it's because you're out there doing it, not because you watched a video. Going to go on to myth number 2. More guns solve every problem. Now, before the internet explodes and my email inbox explodes, you guys got to relax. I'm a firm believer in lawful firearm ownership and responsible self-defense. But here's the problem. Some people prepare like every emergency is going to look exactly like an action movie. Apparently every Tuesday ends with helicopters, explosions, and dramatic music. Reality is far less cinematic. Power outage, rifle can't fix it. Floods, magazine capacity becomes surprisingly irrelevant in a flood. A burst pipe, the AR-15 remains strangely unhelpful for a broken pipe. Your generator is broken. You can't threaten electricity into coming back. Well, I mean, you can, but it's not going to work, I've met people who own 20 rifles, but no spare prescription medication, no water storage, no food, no medical supplies, no flashlights, no battery chargers, no smoke detectors, but by all means, tell me about your 6th optic on your 7th rifle. Preparedness is balance. Balance of food, water, shelter, medical, communications, security, which would encompass rifles, weapons, fitness, knowledge, financial preparedness, which includes bartering goods, and community. Notice firearms were only in one category, and they didn't even have a category of their own. Owning tools is wonderful. Knowing when and whether to use them is even better. Myth 3. Buying more gear makes me more prepared. Oh, this one does hurt a little bit because mostly every one of us has been guilty of this, including me. You buy a flashlight, then you buy another, then you buy a brighter flashlight, then a tactical flashlight, then an emergency flashlight, then a flashlight with 3,000 lumens capable of signaling astronauts in orbit. Now you own 27 flashlights and somehow still can't find one when the power goes off. It's truly remarkable. The prepper industry has discovered something. Fear sells. Fear sells very well. Apparently every month there's a revolutionary shovel being developed. A tactical spoon, a survival wallet, a titanium fork that can apparently survive re-entry from orbit. Some companies they act like civilization, I should say, depends on buying their newest pouch. No. Civilization depends on people learning useful skills, and I need coffee. Hold on. Oh my God, that's good coffee. Okay. Skills beat gear. I know you're getting tired of hearing it, but I'm going to keep saying it. Skills beat gear every single time. Someone with average equipment and excellent skills will outperform someone with $10,000 worth of untouched equipment and untrained on equipment every single time. Practice matters. Training matters. Experience matters. Reading instruction manuals occasionally helps, but us real men don't read instructions, right? Don't misunderstand me. I'm going to circle back on that. I have found, I think 4 out of 5 times when I actually break down to actually read instructions, they're always in a different language. I don't even know how that works, but that's the truth of it. Don't misunderstand me. Buy quality equipment if you can afford it. Just don't make the mistake of shopping for training. Amazon Prime has never awarded anyone with any type of survival experience. Myth 4. I'll learn survival skills when something happens. This may be the funniest myth of them all. Imagine someone saying, I'll learn swimming after the boat sinks. It's an interesting strategy. It's a bold strategy. It's going to be a short-lived strategy. Preparedness doesn't work like downloading software. You don't suddenly become an expert because the lights went out. Stress makes everything harder. Oh, dear God, stress makes everything harder. And I'll give you a good example of this. I know I've talked about shooting on a stress range before. I don't even know if there's any really good stress ranges going anymore. There's probably some left-wing liberal up in arms about stress ranges now too. But if you want to see what I'm talking about, next time you get your rifle sighted in, say, prone position, or even on a bench, I don't care, however you got it sighted in, and you're keyholing it, 250, 400 yards, you're keyholing every time, you're just killing it, okay? You're just shooting like the sniper of all snipers. And then I want you to step away from the bench or stand up from the prone position and do 25 bend and squats and 25 mountain climbers. Get your heart pumping. Get your shit going. Start sweating. Get it going. Get it to where you're having trouble catching your breath. Maybe even you throw up. Okay, but immediately get down behind that optic and crack off 5 more shots and see if you keyhole 5 times again. You won't. And if you say you do, you're lying because you can't. Stress makes everything harder. Simple tasks become difficult. Difficult tasks become nearly impossible. That's why we practice beforehand. That's why we practice skill sets. That's why every week we pick something out and we retrain ourselves on it and we practice it. We don't change it up to where it's like learning something new. We just build on it. You want to learn first aid? Go take a class. You want to use radios? Use them now. Get used to it. To start using radios. The FCC isn't driving around your block waiting for you to key up your radio to see if you're going to use it properly. Learn how to use your radios now. That's why I'm telling everybody, move away from ham radios and start switching over to GMRS radios. They're much easier to use. They have a limited number of channels. Yes, but there's plenty of channels there. It's easier to use. Ham radios can be extremely complicated, especially if something happens and you drop a battery and you put the battery back on and it's not working right and you got to redo channels and everything. It's a pain in the ass. GMRS radios, you won't have that problem. You want to cook over a campfire? Do it before your life and dinner depends on it. Learn how to make a campfire. Learn how to make a good fire. Learn how to use coals to cook. You can cook. You can make a pot of coffee in coals. You don't even need an open fire if you know how to put the coffee pot into the coals to get the water boiling. You want to navigate with a map? Practice before Google Maps becomes a decorative app. You got to understand that at some point GPS is going to abandon us. Skills are like muscles. Use them or lose them. The best time to learn is not during an emergency. It's Tuesday, on a perfectly boring Tuesday. Here's the funny part. Training is actually enjoyable. Go camping, take a hike, learn to cook outside, practice changing a tire, run your generator. Dear God, run your generator regularly. Test your water filters, rotate food supplies. None of that is glamorous. None of it will get you 10 million online user views. But when something actually goes wrong, you'll quietly solve the problem while everyone else is filming TikTok videos asking why the power company personally attacked them. So, we scratched the surface. We survived the fantasy of living in the woods. The belief that every problem can be solved with another firearm. The illusion that buying greater amounts of gear equals preparedness. And the truly spectacular plan of waiting until disaster strikes before learning anything useful. Somewhere out there, a guy just added another tactical pouch to his online shopping cart while completely ignoring the smoke detector that's been chirping since Easter. He'll tell himself it's part of his layered preparedness strategy. The smoke detector, meanwhile, has filed for retirement. So let's circle back to the whole self-taught YouTube survival concept expert thing. We're going to call this, because we went over those myths before, we're going to call this one myth 4.5. I watched 3 YouTube videos on basically special forces now. This is one of my absolute favorite things to talk about because there's so many people out there that watch a couple of videos and think they're experts. They're modern survival experts, I'm sorry. And how did they earn this prestigious title? Did they spend years in the military? No. Did they attend wilderness survival schools? No. Yes, the fan just kicked on in the air conditioning. Deal with it. Did this individual work in emergency management, search and rescue, or disaster relief? No. This individual watched not me, but this individual, self-proclaimed expert, watched 4 YouTube videos while sitting on the couch eating barbecue potato chips. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Admiral Keyboard. He's never been cold. He's never been hungry. He's never had to carry a pack further than the front door of the truck. But somehow he's absolutely convinced he could survive the collapse of civilization because he watched top 10 survival tips they don't want you to know. That's freaking outstanding. Now, before anyone gets offended, I love YouTube. I have learned some things from YouTube that are very useful. Most of it, and I have military communications training, and I've actually learned a lot about communications on YouTube. There are outstanding channels run by military veterans, paramedics, firefighters, wilderness instructors, radio experts, mechanics, hunters, and engineers. These people are sharing decades of experience. That's valuable. The problem isn't YouTube. The problem is confusing watching with doing. Watching someone else change a tire doesn't mean you can change a tire in a thunderstorm on the side of the interstate. Watching a guy build a debris shelter doesn't mean you can build one at 2 a.m. in the morning with freezing rain and numb fingers. Watching someone start a fire with a ferro rod while they're standing in perfect weather after 6 practice takes that they deleted already before you actually got the real one that they're showing you doesn't mean you'll pull it off when it's 28 degrees, your hands are soaked, you're exhausted, and daylight actually disappeared 2 hours ago. YouTube gives you information. Experience gives you confidence. They are not the same thing. Reading a cookbook doesn't make you a chef. Watching NASCAR doesn't make you a race car driver. Watching surgery doesn't make anyone want you holding a scalpel. Yet every week, someone watches a 20-minute survival video and starts pricing property in Alaska. Let's slow down there, Jeremiah Johnson. Really slow down. Stress changes everything, all right? You got to keep that one in mind. We're just going to hit the main points. Stress is a liar. When your heart rate spikes, fine motor skills disappear, memory gets fuzzy, simple decisions suddenly become difficult, and when you're breathing heavily, those crosshairs in your optic start moving all over the target like you're trying to spray paint it with a can of spray paint. You got to learn how to deal with stress first, okay? You know, Murphy's Law, Murphy loves new people. There's an old saying, under stress you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your level of training. The statement has survived for decades because it's true. Time to discover water filter leaks is not when your last bottle of water is empty. The time to discover your radio programming doesn't work is when your family is 50 miles away. The time to discover your backpack rubs your hips raw isn't after hiking 10 miles. The time to realize your boots fit like medieval torture devices isn't after civilization has gone on vacation. Practice exposes weakness. YouTube rarely ever exposes weakness. So, I guess we're going to leave this one with building experience before you need it. Instead of spending every weekend watching another ultimate shit hits the fan loadout video, go outside, camp, hike, practice with your equipment, cook over a fire, navigate with a paper map, not your freaking cell phone. Use your radio. Have somebody drive by at 2 o'clock when you're out in the middle of nowhere, a mile away, and see if you can get them on the radio. You got to rotate your food storage. You got to run your generators. Dear God, run your generators. Actually, you know, the next time you get a thunderstorm, as long as it's not like lightning hitting trees all around you, but the next time it's really coming down, go out and change the tire. See if you can do it. Why don't you go take a first aid class? You know, just do something. Don't just watch videos eating potato chips and convincing yourself you're now an expert. And you know, don't get me wrong, the internet is one of the greatest learning tools ever created. You can use it, learn from it, take notes, but don't mistake information for capability. Preparedness isn't measured by how many videos you've watched, how many tactical buzzwords you know, or how expensive your gear is. It's measured by what you can calmly and confidently do when the lights go out, your heart rate goes up, and nobody's coming to save you. Because when the day finally comes that life decides to throw a wrench into everyone's plans, YouTube won't be standing next to you saying, "Don't worry, buddy, skip to chapter 7. It'll probably be offline, and that's when you'll find out whether you practiced or whether you were just an excellent spectator. Until next time, and the next video, which we're going to cover more of this, stay prepared, stay humble, practice your skills, and remember, if your bug out bag weighs more than your Labrador Retriever, congratulations, you haven't packed for survival. You've packed for a cross-country move. Watch your 6 and peace out.